Back for part 2 of Renegade Day. I'm Dr. Greg Ellis. I lead the life of a renegade. This piece is going to be on the different and distinct nature of philosophical differences between homeopathy and modern medicine. Modern medicine strictly believes in the germ theory of disease, and so do most people. And that idea grew in the mid to late 1800s when bacteria were first discovered. And there were opponents of that idea, particularly in France. They said if it was true that bacteria were everywhere, then there'd be nobody on the earth to talk about it, and that they were the primary cause of disease. So people argued about this, and there was a major fight, and of course they started looking for the magic bullet, the antibiotic that would kill all the bacteria, and they started developing those in the 20s and 30s. And of course now we're having a backlash, the antibiotic era backlash, where many of these diseases that they thought they had eradicated are now coming back. The key factor that is taught to physicians but is ignored by them is the concept of susceptibility of the organism to get infected by something. Now, this school of thought says, no, it's not an infection. It's actually a breakdown in the organism, and then the disease process comes about, and it's not caused by the bacteria. They're actually participating in the healing response. Rather unique way of thinking about it. And there's a school that's not so large of thought that agrees with this and believes in it. Certainly a well-trained homeopath who understands the philosophy, homeopathic philosophy. It's not just the homeopathic remedies, but there's a philosophy within homeopathy about how the body works and how the remedies work. And it has a lot to do to the restoration of your vital energy. That's what the homeopathic remedies do. They're dynamic. They stimulate your body in a dynamic way. And then if you do get diseased, then the bacteria come in to participate in that process. So in this view, the middle ear infections in children are not caused by bacteria, as they like to say. The bacteria are actually participating in the response. Now, the homeopath understands that the body needs to eliminate its bioaccumulated toxins, whatever they may be. And in children, the ear is the safety valve, the outlet valve. Now, in my work with autistic kids, they become so sick that they can't even get sick anymore. I call this too sick to get sick. They just don't get sick. And everybody thinks, well, my child's healthy. And the kid's either out of it or hitting his head against a wall or something like that. He's just not home. But he doesn't get sick anymore. And usually when I begin my work with him and I restart their engines, they'll start getting the ear problems again. And everybody says, oh, okay, ear infection. Run to the doctor, and the doctor treats with antibiotics, even though the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that you not treat so-called middle ear infections with antibiotics. Not a good idea. But people do, same way they treat fevers. So disease is a process of susceptibility. All you're trying to do in this life is maintain your strength, reduce your level of susceptibility. Many people are doing it in a very limited way. Those people who are rather zealous about their diets do it with their diets. Then you get crazy people who go on the low-fat diets and buy into all that stuff, which means it's high carbohydrate, and that's going to dramatically increase your susceptibility. But they don't know any better. So I'm trying to bring some sense to all this so you can improve your health and improve your strength and be good for life, because old age is coming. And I've been telling you that I've worked in nursing homes over the last year and a half, 2 years, and it's just a scary place in there. Anybody that's got parents who are in a nursing home knows what I'm talking about. It's just a scary, scary place. And this is a lifetime of neglect, of not knowing what to do. And they're feeding them 3 square meals a day, balanced meals, balanced. They're watching their fat. They're feeding them their fruit and their grains and all their breads, and they're breaking down further. And in the skin, for example, you see these brown spots. People call them liver spots. They're actually glycated proteins. The skin is a primary target organ for glycated proteins. So you see that in these nursing homes. So susceptibility, it's a very important term to understand. Your goal is to minimize susceptibility, and you do that by eating well and exercising and avoiding situations where inflammatory issues will occur, such as with glycation and the production of oxidative stress. All these things are really important in reducing your health and compromising your health, leading to susceptibility and leading then to the disease process, and leading then secondarily to the perception that you're being attacked by bacteria, and that bacteria actually caused the problem in the first place. Now, it's the weakness in the system, the susceptibility. And one of the main causes today of disease processes is the toxins in the environment. Endless number of chemical toxins and other bad news bears that are wreaking havoc with our systems because they're actually poisoning us. We're getting poisoned. And I do a lot of work with the Amish, and they as a community all believe that parasites are a major problem. And I try to express to them that parasites are just a bug, and they don't poison you, but DDT and herbicides and fungicides and other chemical toxins of agriculture that are being sprayed on the corn and their other plant foods are actually poisoning their cells, poisons the nerve cells. That's how these things work. They were developed in Germany, and they studied them extensively and found that they could poison communication from nerve to nerve and nerve to muscle. And that's how the animal died, go into spasm, couldn't contract their muscles any longer. That's how these things work, and they're working very subtly on us, sometimes not so subtle, sometimes more aggressive. All right, that's it. That's part 2 of Renegade Day. Fighting the establishment.